Vegas and the New York Rangers, 51-52. No lines yet here, although 5 Dimes is hung minus 140 right now on the New York Rangers as a home favorite, plus 120 on Vegas. No total as of yet for Vegas. It's just how much can it get worse with this goalie situation. You think it's bad losing 2 goalies. You've lost 3 now. Fleury out already. Subban out already. Oscar do the safety dance. One of these guys that came in there and really had played well, I thought, Oscar Dansk. You look at the way he started last night against the Islanders, played well. Vegas playing well again, leading that hockey game. Then the air completely comes out of the balloon once Oscar Dansk went down to injury, and that pretty much allowed the New York Islanders rather, a chance to take over that hockey game, and they sure did. And they certainly took advantage of a Maxime Legacy that certainly didn't look like he's ready for National Hockey League action based on his play. And the Islanders blow it open and end up winning 6-3 last night in Brooklyn. So back-to-back situation for Vegas on the road, tough spot. And I said I was going to ride Vegas on this road trip as long as they kept winning, as long as the confidence kept rolling. And unfortunately, that train came to a halt after 1 game because I don't know if I can back them here. I don't want to lay with anything. I'll tell you that. I don't want to lay anything with the New York Rangers. I mean, this team is just struggling, continuing to play poor defensively, continuing to play, less than inspiring at times offensively. The goaltending from Lundqvist or Pavlik is not even marginal at this point. It's poor, regardless of who's been in net. Pavlik was not good the other night against the Montreal Canadiens. So very, very tough game for me to wrap my head around it. Has Dana been able to wrap his head around it? Dana, what do you think here?
Yeah, it's unbelievable about the goaltending situation. I mean, Dylan Ferguson was on a plane last night, a kid who's 4-9 in the WHL this year, and he's going to back up Legacy tonight. The one thing about Legacy is that he's not a child. I mean, he's not an 18 or 19-year-old kid like some of the other kids in the system, like Yuri Patera. He's 24 years old, so he should have a little bit of maturity behind him going into tonight's game. Numbers certainly are not the best. He was 2-2 with Chicago this season, but it's really difficult at this point. I mean, I think George McPhee was taking shots the other day. It's hard. On one hand, general thinking or normal thinking would say it's very difficult to back Vegas because of their goaltending situation. We saw Legacy, last night look a little bit, less than average, and like you said, didn't look like it was an NHL goaltender. But at the same time, when you have 24 hours or so to process the fact that now that you're the man, maybe you get a lot different results. And I think that tonight you're going to see the Golden Knights really try to protect him. I thought last night they didn't protect Legacy as much. And of course that has to do with the fact that they were trying to come back in the game. So I think you're going to get a much better defensive effort from a team that plays solid defense tonight. You have to remember, going back to camp, what that was all about. And these guys have told you time and time again. Lucas Spiza the other day said it was the most competitive camp that I've ever been in. He talked about how everybody was battling every single day. There wasn't veterans that came in and took their job for granted. I mean, if anybody would have done that, maybe it was a James Neal, and James Neal wasn't available for camp all preseason. So that was the one guy probably sit back and feel comfortable, but mostly everybody else sat there and said, I have to fight for a position. So this team has been fighting since day one. This team has been overcoming various things since day one. The Knights have 16 players with at least 1 goal. So that means it's not just done by 5 to 7 guys. It is bullpen by committee here. And every single night it is a different guy stepping up to the plate for the Golden Knights. Now, this is their first real test on the road. I know they played in Dallas and Arizona earlier on, but this is their first real test on the road, especially in the situation where they're playing back-to-back nights against the Rangers and the Islanders. I think for them tonight, they keep it simple. They don't try to do too much, which is exactly what they've done all season long. They just kind of got caught, and they got caught a little bit against Detroit too. And if you wanted to kind of come up with one glaring weakness, it's they better be in control of a game, because coming back from 2-goal deficits, it's not really what what they're built to do. So they must control the pace of play. They must be within, one, if not ahead. But I might take a shot. I'm going to take a shot. Not my best bet. But very rarely do you get a puck line at a plus with plus 1.5 where you can sit back and say, okay, that's an acceptable number to lay, because usually it's in the 2 somewhere. But I might take Vegas tonight plus 1.5 minus $1.50, but no more than that. But I do like Vegas to bounce back in this situation, because obviously the world thinks that the Rangers are going to win tonight. And if I can get $1.40 on that, I have not seen that, but I'm thinking this line will probably be closer to 180, 190, maybe 2. I'm thinking that's probably what the closing line is going to be. But if I can get 140, I'd be all over that. But certainly, I think the way I'm leaning tonight is the Knights plus 1.5 minus $1.50.
Yeah, I love that, actually. That's a great thought, because I'd rather lay that price with the Golden Knights plus 1.5 goals. Yep. Rather than lay something similar with the New York Rangers on the money line. Because I don't like anything right now about this New York Ranger hockey team. I mean, it was a bet against team, remember, on our preview show for me. I said the New York Rangers are going to decline a little bit, maybe not even make the playoffs. And right now, they're starting to live up to that, and they need to turn things around in a hurry. That was another bad loss for them against Montreal on the weekend. And I think this Vegas team, one thing we've seen from them, they're a tough team mentally. I don't think this is obviously that hit them like a ton of bricks. Third period against the Islanders last night that, Danska's gone now. We're down to our 4th goalie. Think they got a chance now to regroup, pick up the pieces tonight, hard effort, be responsible defensively, dig in. The world is not over for us. We're still 8-2. We've still had a fantastic start to this season. Let's pick things up and play. Yeah, I think there's a close, tight, probably lower scoring game tonight between the Knights and the Rangers, and yeah, Vegas plus 1.5. Yeah, no argument.
It has to be, and it has to be in order for Vegas to be in this game. I mean, they're not going to win games 6-5. They have to play a low-scoring, tight game. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, when Fleury comes back, I know a lot of people got on me on Twitter about the fact that Fleury wasn't going to make the trip. And there's one thing about this organization is that you always get mixed messages. What they say is not necessarily what happens. And Gerard Gallant, I think Gerard Gallant gets put into the fire a little bit, and I think I think it's time for George McPhee to find a microphone and to be honest with the media for once. But I guess he's happy just putting Gallant in front of everybody and having him address injury issues and the Shapashov injury or issue and all that, because I don't know if either Gerard Gallant doesn't really know, or he's just kind of trying to throw you off, because he said that Fleury was not going to make the trip. Well, that was days after he said, well, he's going to be ready within days, not weeks. Okay, well, that's fine. You're going to be on the road for 11 days now. So I went ahead and just kind of did some quick math, which made other people upset. But you know how I care so much about that. And I just said, look, you're going to be on the road for 11 days, and you say it's going to be days, not weeks. So it's reasonable to think that he would come back within that 11-day period. Now, he's traveling with the team, which means he's well enough to actually get on a plane and go across country right now. He hasn't been cleared yet, but if you're using your head and aside what anybody tells you, it's reasonable to think that he would probably find some action on this road trip. Otherwise, why would you even bring him back east with you?
Yeah, that's true. That's really well said. Yeah, for me, from a side perspective, someone in the chat says Rangers win 4. They could. I mean, they definitely could. Would that kind of result shock me? No, but I think we're discounting the people, the men in that Vegas locker room, dressing room. I think they're going to show up tonight, protect legacy. They got to do that. I mean, block shots, have good sticks, active sticks, be in good position in their own zone. If they do all those little things, help out their young, inexperienced goaltender, I think they can make this a close game tonight and maybe have a shot to win it. Again, it's Vegas or pass for me. I don't want the Rangers. That much I know. Andrew or Alex, any thoughts here on this one?
Yeah, well, Ian, I will say that I really was hoping that you kind of segue in from your whole Halloween theme to how scary it is now for this Vegas Golden Knights team and their whole goaltending situation. I mean, it's a concerning thought. I mean, it's terrible for the game. I mean, Just from a fan perspective, you're just so happy to see how well Vegas was doing. They're off to a great start. And then, of course, 3 goalies going down. I mean, thinking about it, it feels like it's been forever since we've even seen Marc-Andre Fleury, let alone Malcolm Subban. Let's not even get started. Let's not even get Dana started either on the whole Calvin Pickard situation as well. But, I mean, they've just gone through a couple of goalies. We'll leave it at that. But heading into this matchup, guys, I actually have to kind of go on the other side where you guys were leaning. I'm actually on the over in this game. I think that, with Vegas on the road, and, I think you guys are right that if they're going to win, they're going to try and shoot for a lower scoring game. But in my opinion, until they get Fleury back, until they get, a stable goalie, something that's not going to confuse them, they're going to look back every night. These players are seeing a different goalie in nets every time they're looking back. And, I think they have been involved in a lot of track meet type games so far. I think Vegas has kind of grown that reputation as that exciting team to watch. And let's just talk about New York for a second. I mean, they've been absolutely terrible from all aspects of the ice. Their goaltending hasn't been good whatsoever either. I mean, Lundqvist, known to be an all-star goalie. He hasn't really shown up this year quite yet. Pavlik, I'm not really sure what they were thinking with him. I've never really been too big of a fan of him, but seems like most games he's been involved in haven't been steady whatsoever. So looking at this game, look, guys, I think it's going to be a track meet style game. Not a whole lot of beauty goals, perfect tap in kind of styles. But with these two teams clashing right now with Vegas on the road, I think it jumps over the total.
All right, over 5.5, or I'm sure it'll be 5.5 the total in this game when it comes out for Andrew. Alex, what do you think about Vegas? How can they survive here?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think the Shipatrov issue being settled, I think that's addition by subtraction. You don't have to hear about, every day of, if he's going to show up in Chicago, is he in Vegas, where is he, all right, now he's back in Russia. That's done. So I think that'll be, one less. That's really kind of the only headache thing outside of the goaltending issue that it seemed like the franchise had. So now they can kind of, like I said, figure things out, see if Fleury's ready or not. But as far as this game goes, I'm thinking more than likely I could see for the first period this might go over. We might see each team maybe get a goal, maybe the Rangers get out to a small lead, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of goals here enough to where it goes 5.5 or 6. So I'm leaning with the under because the Rangers are still a mess. Lundqvist is scheduled to start tonight. He's back and finished with, they said he's doing maintenance and stuff, kind of like Carey Price too at Montreal. They said he's not resting, that he's just doing some technical work. So I think, Lundqvist, we might see a better effort from him technically. To say how well that'll be, we don't know, but I think we're going to see low, maybe higher scoring first period, but lower scoring overall for the game.
I love that term, maintenance day for the goalies, maintenance work for the goalies. That's code word for you suck, you blow, you're not playing well enough. That's all there is to it. I mean, maintenance work. Give me a break.
Well, as far as Marc-Andre Fleury is concerned, maintenance means you got a concussion, because it was a maintenance day to start, and then the next day it was a concussion.
Yeah,
thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, I mean, the Fleury thing is crazy. I mean, you just hear conflicting reports, it seems, constantly coming out from that situation. But I'll tell you what, the Vegas Golden Knights, it doesn't matter when. If it's later this week, next week, 2 weeks from now, they need Marc-Andre Fleury back as soon as possible, and we'll see when that ends up happening.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.